I am live. I did not announce this at all. So if you tune in at any point, then I want to thank you for watching this live stream. Today I'm going to talk a little bit about my upcoming Kickstarter and also about my plans for 2021 for this channel. And first of all, I want to thank every single one of you who subscribed to my channel. I started this channel or at least I rebranded this channel in January, and I started with, I think it was 141 subscribers, and now I'm nearing 700. That is mind-blowing to me, and I want to thank you all so much for your support, for all your comments, all your likes, and of course for subscribing. If you haven't subscribed yet, you're welcome to do so if you want to know more about making your own comics, because that is what this channel is all about. My name is Henrika. I make comics myself and I teach them. Speaking of teaching comics, I used this kind of quarantine like productively, and I came up with a course. This year has not been easy in terms of like energy and jobs and everything, but I came up with this idea of like, how can I make something that really helps beginners? Because I feel like there's a lot of people on this channel that come to this channel because they want to start a comic and they don't necessarily know where to start. They have like 20 million options. There's so much that you can do. Like, how long am I going to make my comic? Where am I going to post my comic? How am I going to make it, with what materials and all of that stuff? And those are a lot of questions that you ask yourself before you start making a comic. And I distinctly remember struggling with the exact same thing. I remember I had so much trouble coming up with my page size and how I was gonna make my panels look, and the space in between the panels, that's called the gutter. Like, how is that even gonna look? What kind of word balloons am I using? What font will I use? Like, the really, really practical questions. And I know that can really hold you back from starting, because sometimes you're afraid of making the wrong decisions. If that makes sense. Like, oh no, now I'm going to be stuck in this like 50-page comic with something that I might not like, or something that is really hard to pull off, and all of that stuff. So I was thinking, how can I make something? Because I do have another mentored course that I taught before, and that's all about making comics. Is like a crash course in how to make pages. But I was like, what if you want to start your own long form story, or even a shorter story? What if you start from scratch? You want to write a bigger story? Like in my mentored course, we only have the time to make a 1 or 2 page comic maximum. So that's going to be a really short story. But what do you do if you're like me, you want to have your own webcomic that just runs for a few years? Like, what is all the stuff that you need to be thinking about? So I really wanted to offer something that you can go through on your own pace, in your own time, and really apply it to multiple kinds of different comics. So that's why I came up with How to Start a Comic. It's a very self-explanatory title. And I'm going to launch it on Kickstarter in January. I'm working on the Kickstarter page right now. I'm working on images. I'm working on like the copy, like all the stuff that you write. And this brings me to the whole 2021 point, because I already noticed, like, now I'm working on the Kickstarter. The Kickstarter hasn't even launched yet. And after the Kickstarter, I'm going to do a lot of fulfillment. Like, I really need to make sure that the course is top notch, that it is delivered in the right way, and that I, provide support and everything for the people who get my course. So I suspect to be busy with all of this like for a few more months after the Kickstarter ends. So that brings me to my channel. What I've done up till now was like, obviously the last few weeks I've doing a lot of live streams, because I've been getting into a new job, and it's for some reason it's very exhausting, and I think it has something to do with like the whole Corona thing, like 2020, like on top of everything. I just get very tired, and live streams are the only thing I manage to do during the week, also because I'm, preparing a Kickstarter. So I talked to some creatives last week actually about this, and they actually had a really great point, which was And I wanted to share this with you because it's a really great point in general. If you're doing a lot of things, try and combine and batch them. I know I talk a lot about batching on this channel when it comes to making your comic pages, which means you're working on a few pages at the same time. You know, you batch the sketching and then you batch the inking, you batch the coloring and everything. It works really well because, you know, you are in the flow of things. You don't constantly have to switch tasks. And they said the same is kind of true for, you know, doing multiple creative things. And what I really miss right now is drawing. I don't draw much, even like not even little doodles or something, because I could not find the energy this year for it. But I really want to get back to like the habit of drawing because I miss it so I miss it so much, guys. So they were like, well, why don't you combine it with your YouTube channel? And that is something that I have been thinking about for a long time. Like, I want to do more drawing on the channel, especially because a lot of the stuff I talk about when it comes to comics is really well explained when you draw it, you know? I get a lot of questions about paneling and layouts and composition and all of that stuff. And that is something that I do a lot of talking head videos. You can talk about that stuff, but it's easier to show it. So for a while, I've been thinking of like, I would ideally like to do more drawing videos to show how to make comics. But I was like, how am I gonna, you know, do and drawing and filming it all and then editing and stuff? And they were like, why not just do like 10-minute live streams regularly and then talk about a subject? Now I have a little problem talking in English and drawing at the same time. It's a little hard for me, but why not, you know, do a few like minutes of drawing, and then maybe there's some questions coming in the chat and I can answer those, or, you know, in between talk about a certain subject when it comes to comics, and then maybe I can show you what I'm doing. So I still need to figure out how to share my screen, because now I'm doing live streams through YouTube, which is way more stable than what I did before through OBS. But I'm afraid I'm gonna have to do OBS because YouTube only takes like one screen. So I still have to kind of figure that out. But when it comes to 2021, I don't want this channel to like go on hiatus for months and months. That is not what I want to do, because, you know, I'm on a roll. You know, people are subscribing, and I really want to, you know, not just serve the people who pay for my comics course, but also just have free content out there for you guys to watch. So that is going to be the plan for 2021. Also, I was thinking, and this is why I'm kind of doing like this vlog, like this kind of vlog video, is because I really want to hear from you. Like, if there's any, you know, subjects that you would like to see me draw. But also, I was thinking about doing kind of like a vlog style thing for my Kickstarter, because I know a lot of you people want to make your own comics, and maybe eventually you want to print your comics. And I know I'm not doing a comic Kickstarter right now. I'm doing a course Kickstarter, which is a completely different thing. But still, the Kickstarter platform is the same. I have to do promotion and everything. But I'm still kind of on the fence with that, because I really focused my channel this year on just talking about how to start your comic, just getting your comic started. And so I'm not quite sure if the people who are on the channel right now are really waiting for Kickstarter stuff, even though that might be something you want to do in like a few years, maybe. Also, there's like a ton of people already way more versed in doing Kickstarters. For example, I'm actually following a program by Tyler James Vogel, and he actually has an entire course that's just for comic creators. He has multiple courses, all for comic creators. This video is not sponsored, by the way, just so you know. But he has a podcast called Comics Launch, and that's also the name of his course, which just takes you through the entire like Kickstarter process. So when it comes to doing Kickstarters, I would just direct people to his podcast and to his course and stuff. He has a course on email list building for comic creators and stuff as well. You can go to comics and that's comics with an X, not with a CS. Do I say that right? Yeah, it's COMIX launch.com. You can find all the stuff. You know, and then there's Jason Brubaker, who has made a book about Kickstarter, and actually like a lot of books about, you know, how to self-publish your comics and stuff, which is also, I cannot remember the name, but I actually have it like in my bookcase, which is a good resource as well. But I thought it might be fun to see kind of like firsthand, like the process of what it takes to run a Kickstarter and, you know, all the stuff that you have to think about. But it's a different kind of subject to talk about. So if you have any thoughts about that, leave them in the comments. If you're like, no, please just keep talking about comics, I'm not interested in Kickstarter, then that's absolutely fine. I am planning on doing some live streams and talk more about, you know, just how to start a comic, more like the stuff that I teach in the course. Obviously, I'm not going to teach the course through YouTube, but I'm thinking about tackling some of those subjects and really dive into actually the starting process, like get started, and how do you develop your story, how do you develop your characters, your worlds, and all of that stuff. Bill says all info is helpful. I couldn't agree more. All the info, yeah. No, that helps actually. I can imagine there's a lot of different people on this channel watching, like people who already started their comics. I have a few people who submitted comic pages to me for the Christmas special. Unfortunately, I have to say that that's closing up. If you want to send in a page for me to critique at Christmas in a video, then send it at the latest tomorrow or the day after. Just DM me on social media. But that's absolutely, like, this Saturday is the last day where you can send it in, because I will start working on that video next week. Yeah. Hi, Diana. And there's Esma Arts, if I say that right. And then Bill and Shauna. Hi, guys. Thanks for the vote of confidence, or all info is helpful. I really don't know. I've never kind of like vlogged on this channel. And I know that vlogging is like this thing where I'm like, I really would want it to be interesting. Like, you're not interested in like my daily life. You are here for comics, you know? So I'm like, you know, it has to be about comics if I'm vlogging. It has to be about me making a comic, or me doing a Kickstarter related to comics, or doing live streams. Yes, I have used OBS software before for my live stream. I have more technical issues with OBS actually, but I think I have to use that one if I want to do like drawing. Ideally, I would like to do just live stream from Procreate, but the thing is, in order to be able to live stream from the iPad, I need 1,000 subscribers, which I do not have currently. I still have 300 to go. So if you guys want to help me get to 1,000 subscribers and share the channel and stuff, and then I can actually live stream directly from Procreate, which would be ideal for me. But I do still have Photoshop and a very wonky drawing tablet, which is making weird sounds lately, but I can try. But that would be something nice. I could always like set up my camera and then do drawing on paper. That's another option I have. But that is something that I'm thinking about for 2021. Just doing more short things when where I'm drawing, and then talking about a subject that I select beforehand. Subscribers on YouTube. Yes, you need 1,000 subscribers on YouTube to be able to stream from mobile and iPad. It's kind of strange because for some reason I can stream from my computer because I'm doing it right now. But like for the mobile thing, no, you actually need 1,000 subscribers. So yeah, that's a weird thing that it probably takes a lot of resources for them or something. I'm actually not quite sure why that is in place, but it is what it is. So yeah, that's something that I wanted to share with you today. I know it's a little bit of a different video. What I do want to share with you is the tip that I got. Like, if you can batch stuff, not just for your comic, but also, you know, maybe you feel the need to work on your comic and then not share the comic before you publish it, but then need to do drawing on the side to post on Instagram, for example. And I just want to say, just share your process. Not if you don't want to, of course, you're free to share whatever you want, but maybe batch some of that stuff of like, well, now I have all this, maybe you can Procreate and you have automatic like videos that you can share out, you know, and use those for your Instagram TV and doing some, you know, fun behind the scenes sketches and stuff on your Instagram that could be really fun, or just, you know, film yourself doing short things in your Instagram stories. Could all be fun stuff. Yeah, and then for me, it's like combining comics, drawing, YouTube, and the Kickstarter all in one thing. Yeah, and trying to hit as many birds with one stone as I can. That's the idea for 2021, because I do want to keep up this channel. One of the biggest things on social media for every single platform is consistency. And I've really seen that on YouTube, because I have not missed a week in 2020. I've posted a video every single week this year. It's something I'm really proud of. I was like, at the beginning, I was really scared. I was like, oh my goodness, what am I getting myself into? And making videos really, it's a ton of work, but you know, I have seen like a ton of growth. Like I said, it's almost 600 subscribers in a year. I think that's a lot. I wasn't I didn't have any expectations beforehand. Again, I'm so grateful, and all of you who are sharing, you know, my stuff on social media. Like, I see you. It's you know, I get comments sometimes like, hey, I watch your videos like in random places, and I'm like, there's a person who watches my videos. You know, it's still kind of crazy to me, but you know, it's super fun. And then hearing you guys say that it's been helpful to you is super inspiring to me, and really why I do this. Yeah, and that's all I had for you today. That's like the update. We're going to do the Christmas video, which is critiques of your comic pages that you send in. And then the New Year's Eve also falls on a Thursday. So we're going to do a New Year's Eve special, and that is all about planning for the next year, planning for 2021, like your creative projects and stuff. And before that, I'm probably going to do some live streams again, talk about starting comics, probably, because that will be the subject that I will talk about for the most part in the coming time, because I'm working on my course. That's all that's on my mind. And I have some stuff that I can share with you when it comes to how to start a comic. Speaking of how to start a comic, if you go to howtostartacomic.com, you can be put on the interest list for the course. So if you want to know when the Kickstarter launches, I suggest going to there and putting your name on the list so I can send out an email when the course launches. The Kickstarter will have a special early bird price. It will never be that cheap again. It's like a course. Like, don't expect like a $10 course or something. It's a pretty big course. I'm gonna say it will take you some time to get through, but when you're through it, you start from a blank page, and you will have prepared everything that you need in order to make your pages. So we're gonna talk ideas, how to develop your ideas, how to write your story, how to write a log line that you can use to pitch the story to other people if you want feedback. We're going to talk about character development. We're going to talk about your world, and what it all looks like, and how to design your characters, how to design your worlds. But also there's a lot of stuff about workflow. There's a lot about how do you keep the process manageable for yourself? How do you plan the length of your comic, the style of your comic, the materials you're going to use. All of the decisions that I could think about that I had to make before I started my comic, I have all put them into this course in like a logical order that you can go through. And if you just do all the assignments of the lessons, and at the end, you will be able to start making your pages with confidence. And that is like the last module is like a crash course on how to make a comic page. I'm going to dive into the whole process of making a page and how to go about that. So that's gonna be how to start a comic. Go to howtostartacomic.com to sign up for the interest list, and then January 25th is when I'm gonna launch on Kickstarter, and it will have some nice other rewards, bonuses, stuff that I have been figuring out over the last few weeks, and yeah, there's something for every like pledge level. I've come up with like cheaper and more expensive pledge levels. because the course will be like a course rate, but it will be very discounted. It will be more expensive later. So the Kickstarter is definitely, if you want to get it for the cheapest, definitely back the Kickstarter, or at least check out the Kickstarter. But yeah, that would be the world to me, to be able to bring this course to you. Like the cost for the Kickstarter will go to like hosting the course. I use some software for billing, and yeah, some more, cost for like the software I use to present it and everything. So that's what the Kickstarter is for. But also a Kickstarter is a good way to do promotion. Like I think it was 2 weeks ago when I did the how to promote your webcomic video. Kickstarter is actually a good audience building platform because it attracts new eyeballs of people just browsing Kickstarter, people who want to see like what's new in the comics area. Kickstarter has a very broad comics category, so you can pick the category comics, and under comics they have like web comics, they have graphic novels, anthologies. I think they have all kinds of comic stuff in there, so you can get really specific on Kickstarter. Is really like geared towards creators, obviously, but there's a lot of space for comics, which I really like. So there's a lot of people searching for new comics on Kickstarter, and especially like that's a whole nother thing. But if you can get into the projects we love category on Kickstarter, that will bring like a whole audience to you that have never heard of your comic before. And if you like draw them in with like good artwork and an enticing story, then yeah, you can really broaden your audience that way, and get them some nice goodies in immediately. So that's really nice. Yeah. So if you just want to have a little taste of what my course looks like, I have made a checklist a few months back now, so it's not really new anymore, but it still feels like a new checklist that I made about what do you need in order to start your comics. Like this, it's like this nice little list that you can check off all the tasks and stuff that you need to think about before you start your comics. So if you want to get that for free, subscribe to my email list, and you can do that at pencilsandstories.com/extra. Yeah, and then you will also get some weekly emails to kind of nudge you along on the process, and some more a little deeper dive than a checklist into the subjects. Yeah, so pencilsandstories.com/extra. Go there for your free checklist, and that's it. I want to thank you so much for watching and for tuning in live. Thank you all, and yeah, we'll see what 2021 brings, right? In terms of like comics and drawing and stuff. But I definitely don't want to quit. So let's do this. So guys, for now, I want to thank you so much for watching. Thank you, Bill, and thank you, Diana. Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, no problem. I love giving tips. Giving tips is my jam. So yeah, have a great day. Make some comics, and I will see you in the next video. Bye, guys. In stream. I always forget that takes a while. Bye, guys.